Hello, everyone. So, yeah, I know nobody's paying attention right now because this is like completely, winging it. It was not planned, but hopefully you'll be watching this soon. I'm going to be doing a short live stream because I've been telling myself, everybody's making bread, but I've got bread in my grocery store, but now I've had like a feeling of wanting to make bread because I used to make bread and a little bit more regularly. I did sourdough bread and I had a sourdough starter a friend gave me. But I go through phases. I'm like, let's do bread for like a while, and then I stop. So I had put some frozen starter in the freezer, and I had some in the fridge too that I had not touched in a really long time. But it develops sometimes like an alcohol water on top that is called hooch. And it was fine. Like, even if it's been in the fridge a long time, it's been covered by this alcohol. And I was sure I still had it. Unfortunately, hi Jesse. I knew you would show up. Thank you. It's very spontaneous, this live stream. It's a short one. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so recently I did like a huge purge of my apartment, and I had not used those two starters, the freezer one and the fridge one, in so long. I figured it's not gonna happen, and I threw them out like 4 months ago. And now I want to make a starter. So we're gonna start from scratch. I've never made one from scratch. So this is like, we're gonna call it day 2, even though it's not 24 hours yet. So yesterday I found a website. Well, the reason I'm doing this actually on YouTube, because it's not normally the kind of video I do that much, is I tried an app, which I'm not recommending because not a lot of options in the free version, you could create a little video. This is a little video that's supposed to go to your social media, and I picked Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and it said YouTube. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll just, go on my wall of YouTube. It's not going to post as a video. Well, not long after that, I got a comment, and turns out it did post it as a video. It's this really, really silly, can you get an angle without... Oh yeah, and the writing's upside down. That's cool. Yeah, so that's it. And that inadvertently went on my YouTube channel. So I was like, oh, I was going to delete it. And then I actually got a few people interested. So I said, why don't we do a very quick live stream every day while we're starting the sourdough starter. Okay, so the first place I went to, I looked online a lot for different recipe options. And the first one I tried said to use 85 grams of all-purpose unbleached flour, which is about 2/3 of a cup, and to use, I think it was 1/3 of a cup of warm water. Couple of little tips here. Never use all-purpose bleached flour. That's not good. We want some of that unbleached stuff. And never use water right out of the tap because chlorine and fluoride can kill it. Good thing is chlorine will evaporate. So if you have filtered water, or if you leave it on the counter for like a day or two, it should be fine. If not, use the bottled spring water and still make sure there's no chlorine in it. So I use my filtered water. I've already weighed this for today, and it's already warmed. So this is the mixture I did last night. I suspected the bowl might not be ideal, but I mixed them, as they said, into a paste. And then it said to cover it with like a cheesecloth or a linen towel, because you actually want the microorganisms of the air to get in there. That's what creates the yeast. It's the natural spores in the air. That's why they can have different tastes if they're made in different places. So I did that, and then this morning I'm like, ew, it's got like a crust. Can you see? It's like crusty. And I went, what the? That's not good. So I looked up online a lot, and technically I could remix it in, but a lot of sites say to let it breathe. A lot of sites say to not let it breathe. I think it should breathe. I have to re-add like a lot for like the next 5 or 8 days. So I need a big container, and maybe I'll just partially cover it. We'll try. We're going to experiment. So what I did is I went looking online again for a better authority, which I found. And the website is theperfectloaf.com. Every time I turn, the lighting's changing. That's cool. So she said that it's normal and I could mix it back in, but it means that it needs to be covered a little bit for humidity, but I'm supposed to leave it uncovered for the yeast. Very, very confusing. So her recipe says to take 50% of your flour unbleached all-purpose and 50 of your flour, 50% rye flour, which I happen to have. And that's supposed to make a more robust starter because there's just more things in it that activate it. So I'm gonna move over to this website's description. And I know I could mix this back in, but she says to use what, 75%? 75? Okay, so she would have done the same thing the first day. Hi Maria, nice to see you. I'm doing a quick live stream every day about my adventure in sourdough starter. So come back after the beginning just to hear everything you missed. So yeah, it was the same principle of mixing it together, but she had it covered. So normally I wouldn't have the dry skin, but for her on the second day, you're supposed to keep 75 grams of the first day and the rest you toss. So I'm going to try to just get 75 grams out of the current non-dried starter. So I'm going to bring it a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. Blech. We're like spinning all over the place today. It's just one of those days. Where do I have to? So many things to turn. All right. Yeah, that should be good. Let me retighten all my bolts. Ah, why is this turning? Oh, okay, because it's not tightened. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you dizzy on purpose. And yeah, this is really crooked. I'm now using this container, and you want everything to be perfectly clean and dry. So everything you use needs to be perfectly clean and dry every day. I have a digital scale here, which is like a must. If you don't have one, get one. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to put my container. So that weighs 120 grams. I don't want to count that. So you push the tare button, and it brings it back to 0. So now I'm going to pour in 75 grams of hopefully nothing dried starter, and it's got this, it's like glue. It's gloppy glue. Come on, fall. Fall. It's so stringy and yuck. All right, so that was 13 grams. Let's try to get more in. It doesn't matter if some of the other stuff stays in there. Come on, fall down. Oh, we're already at 70, and we need 75. So I only need another 5 grams. 78, close enough. And then, as she says on the day 2, you want to mix 50 grams of rye flour and 50 grams of all-purpose flour. So I'm again going to tare, so I get back to 0. And here's my all-purpose flour. So with my little scoop, I'm going to put in exactly 50 grams of the unbleached white flour. So that's a 26, 42, 47, 50. There we go. So I put half of it is my all-purpose flour. And where does my, yeah, my kitchen's a mess, by the way. So, you know, this is real life. It's the coronavirus. I'm not prettying everything up. Now I want 50 grams of the rye flour. As you can see, it's browner. There's more things in it. It's richer in nutrients. It's not as filtered. So this, I need 10 more grams. At the end, it's like when you're counting the 1 grams, it's hard to be really precise. One more. One more. One more. There we go. All right, so we got our flour. And then I have to put in 125 grams of hot water. Like I said, you cannot use tap water. It's got chlorine in it. You got to let it dry, evaporate, or buy spring water that really has no chlorine in it. Check the label. And you need to put a little bit of warm water. So let's, again, well, it's 100. So now I know I have to add 125. So it should read 225 in the end. So you just stir in a little bit of warm water in there. I pre-measured it, so it's all good. We don't need the scale anymore. And now let me just check down on the website. You just mix it. You just want to mix it up a little bit. Make sure that all the dry flour is in touch with water. And you want to whip it as good as you get. It's going to be thick flour right away. But it's just going to change with time. The idea here is to try to at least humidify everything and to whip some air into it. So that's pretty good. So you just want to make sure that you scrape down your sides. So a spatula like that is really good. Just try to clean the sides down as much as possible. There we go. A little bit more. You want to save every little bit of it. All right, let's call it done. So now this is my mix for day 2. Sorry, I can't see the it's only me, or is it the video buffering? It could be because I'm on my phone. So this is today's mix. And so I don't want to cover it right away because I want some natural yeast in there. So I'm going to keep it covered like that for 24 hours. If it starts to dry again, then I'll put like an actual aluminum foil or something on it. But for now, I'm just doing the cheesecloth. And you want to keep it somewhere warm, like a kitchen. It should be around 80 Fahrenheit or 26 Celsius. It should not be in direct sunlight, so often maybe a cupboard might be warmer or whatever. And yeah, that's it for day 2. Hopefully this new technique is going to improve things. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments, if you've ever done a sourdough starter or if you made sourdough bread. So I'll be back tomorrow around this time with day 3 and the next step. So have a wonderful day. Always remember to eat and travel safely. I totally screwed up my own ending. Eat and travel. Okay, yeah, let's do that over. Take over, which I can't because it's live. So remember to eat and travel safely outside of your comfort zone. So go online and try exotic recipes. Bye. Mwah.